Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Untitled, and I am the head of the English department at North American International School, Dubai. I hope all of you have had a good day today. It was a long day, I know, and everybody seems to be exhausted. Very few people. I was expecting a big crowd. Anyway, without further delay, let me introduce to you my colleagues, Ms. Umalka Satyanayaka, the head of the music department, and Ms. Vishwatara Gnani, the elementary art teacher, who will be supporting me through the presentation. The topic that we are going to discuss today is how do we help students recognize their global identity?
Or can I just collect the QR?
I'll just continue, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
As I was saying, that today we're going to be discussing how we help students recognize their global identity and make them value the world as a global context for learning. Before I continue, I think we're all familiar with the basic definition of a citizen. In fact, we are citizens of our respective countries. And living in this part of the world has given us the opportunity to interact with diverse nationalities every day. But what does a global citizen actually mean? That's my question. And I'd like this session to be a little interactive. Some suggestions from your side. Tell me, what do you think a global citizen actually means? Is it just a citizen of the world, or does it have a broader meaning? Yes, sir.
Yeah, to know what's happening around the world, to be aware of everything that's happening around the world.
Person who's aware of
not just in
everything.
your country.
Exactly, a person who's aware of what is happening around the world
And you can blend it.
and who can blend in with the rest of the world. Excellent. I'd like to quote here President Barack Obama in his presidential speech in 2008 in Berlin. He very formally introduced himself, and I really like the way he did that. He said that I am a proud citizen of the United States of America and a fellow citizen of the world. Fellow citizen. That is something which connects every individual in this world to each other. You know, the 20th century, with all its upheavals and the world wars and everything, it taught us that we all share a common destiny. And the 21st century is, revealing that the world is even more intertwined than ever in human history. So you might think, why should we care? Is the world changing? Do you all feel that the world has changed?
Yes.
Do you think the world has changed? If you look at the past 2 decades or 3 decades, do you think it has changed? Yes, ma'am. Would you like to say something about it? Do you think the world has changed?
It has changed a lot. There's a childhood and now in our adulthood we have seen many changes.
Exactly. If we compare to how you and I grew up, I think the world has drastically changed. You know, it has been transformed by a digital revolution and advances in human knowledge, whether it's demographic and social changes, an uplift in economic power, a technological breakthrough, or the scarcity of natural resources. This world, and those of us living in it, we need to be even more adaptable than ever before. But again, we might think that we are living in a very safe place. We live here in the UAE. Why should we bother? The world is changing. If there are conflicts happening, why should we care? Well, for your information, according to the 2014 census, the UAE population is 9.5 million, and which is expected to turn to around 10.4 million by the year 2020. Immigrants, we all know that they form more than 80% of the population, and 250,000 expatriates are expected in Dubai alone by the year 2020. Now imagine, with such a massive intermingling of cultures and nationalities, we need to equip our children with the knowledge of their role locally and globally even more than anybody else. And we need to teach them how to recognize their global identity so that they don't lose contact with their own culture, and at the same time, they accept wholeheartedly the diversities around them. We need to prepare them to meet with the challenges of the modern world. And how can we do that? By giving them the knowledge, the skills, and the values and the attitudes that prepare them to thrive in a global society. And we need to prepare them, like I think Mr. Graham early in the morning he mentioned That we have to prepare them for careers of the future, careers that you and I don't know, careers that don't exist in this world right now. So what do? Well, for us as educators, I think global citizenship is a critical 21st century skill. And it cannot be taught in isolation. I came across somebody, I think a speaker earlier, he mentioned in one of the sessions in the morning, he said that we have career building classes. Excellent, that's brilliant. You have a career building session during the week or during the course of the academic year. You have a leadership class. Fine, that's fine. But that's not something, or what I believe, or what my school believes, and the North American International School, we feel that it's not something that can be taught in isolation. It's something that is that has to be embedded within the curriculum, so that we prepare our students and these young people for an active part in the society, politically, environmentally, economically, socially, and culturally. So how do we develop global citizenship? With the understanding of the skills and values that we feel are essential for a human being to thrive in a global society. According to our school, North American International, we feel that there are 3 key principles. Now, it's a very open thing. This is our point of view. You can have a different opinion of yours. But what we feel is that there are 3 key principles of developing global citizens. Number 1, it's education for citizenship. A child needs to know, a student needs to know what are his rights and responsibilities in a global community, or at all levels, local, national, and international level. The child needs to be made a part of the decision-making process so that we can foster his decision-making qualities and we can prepare him for the future, for the global issues that these students and these children have to face. Number 2, teach sustainable development. How do we do that? Make them aware of the interdependence of people and environment and motivate them to live sustainably. Let them think of innovative solutions, because I'm sure their brains can come up with the most diverse sort of solutions that we can ever think of. So let them come up with solutions for the most scientific and complex ethical issues, like the interconnectedness of biodiversity, climate change, or global poverty, whatever it might be. And last but not the least, international education. Education needs to transcend national borders. It can no longer be an American education or an English education or an Indian education. It has to be an amalgamation of all curriculums, because you don't know where your student is going to be in the next 10 years. You have to prepare him for that. And I think the nations today, I really enjoyed the question that the student asked in the plenary the session that we had. She said that what is United Nations doing about it? So coming back to that, it's not the United Nations. It's not just one body or one organization who's to come up with a solution, it's the world. And we are preparing the citizens of the world of the future. So we need to educate them for that. And we need to tell them that how important it is to work together in unity and in harmony with each other. So how do we develop global citizenship in North American International School? We don't do it through a single subject area. No, I'm sorry, we don't have a separate period for that. We don't have a leadership class or a character building class. We have it embedded into all aspects of school life through our vision, mission, and core values. What is our mission? Our mission is to create an environment, a very caring and multicultural environment for the students so that they can become global-minded critical thinkers. Our vision is to create lifelong learners and active and responsible global citizens. And our core values, which are actually, if you look at them carefully, they are an interpretation of the acronym CREATIVE or CREATE, and they stand for communication, inquiry, empathy, creativity, and integrity and respect. I think all of these are the essentials of global citizens. Don't you think so? If a citizen, if a person or a student of the future has all of these qualities, does it make him a more responsible global citizen? If he is creative, if he is a critical thinker, and if he is innovative in his solutions? Do you agree or not? Hello? I'm speaking to all of you. All right. I think I've given you a long lecture now. So let's come back to some work. Since I'm an English teacher, so I can give you an example of my subject, how I teach global citizenship through my subject. I have 2 activities planned for you. The first one is a group activity. So I would really appreciate if everybody can just come here and occupy the seats here so that I can, you can sort of group up, groups of 2. Please. I'd really appreciate it, ma'am. Please come forward. No, okay. On formality. Please. Who did I give the papers to? Okay. Groups of 2. Sir, you have a partner? Malka, you can be sir's partner. All right. I'm going to pass out these handouts. They have a couple of images and pictures on them. I want you to look at the pictures carefully and tell me what you think are the global dimensions of these images. Just pass it on there. You can give it to our students here as well. This is something which I generally use for my English lessons as a starter activity or a brainstorming activity, and I can always stretch it to the writing side as well. So just look at the images. Shall I do the first one for you? What do you see in the first picture? What do you see? Tell me.
Hands.
Hands in the air. And are the hands all the same color? No. What does it mean? Different colors, different colored skins. People from different parts of the world, different ethnicities. Yes. And what else do you think it might mean? Sorry? Anti-racism, that racism needs to be stopped. Everybody has equal rights. Everybody needs to have their voice. Very good. What else? Unity and diversity. Excellent. And equal participation. I have my right. I have all the right in the world to give my opinion. Yes? So that is, I've just given you one example. Now I'm giving you 2 minutes. I want you to do all the pictures. I'm going to ask you what you think are the global dimensions. Come on. Okay. I think we're all right. Now, can we just share a couple of ideas? The first one I've already done with you. So the second one. What is the second one? Yes, here. Can you tell me what is the second image?
Trade to containers.
It is trade through containers. Very good. Containers moving from one part of the world to another. Exactly. Yes. The lady in yellow. Can you please tell me what does the third image tell you about?
Textile, trading of textiles among the nations, different nations.
That's one interpretation. What is the other one? I gave you a hint while I was passing.
Designs.
The colors and patterns. Yes, a lot of cultures when you see, they have similarities. It's a traditional art and exactly traditional values also. And when you come across cultures, you see similarities. Oh my God, this is in one part of Middle East and in another part of other country. So there's similarities and differences between cultures and patterns. The fourth one, yes, the lady at the end. The picture of cans. Recycling resources, very good. Why is it so essential? Again, the sustainable, living, that we need to recycle all the resources that we have around us. So this is just one activity that I usually use as a brainstorming starter for my classes. And that gets the children going, how does the can talk about the world and how do you connect this to that? And the same activity can be stretched into a descriptive writing or, letting them analyze a situation if they are taking economics or some subject and connect it to that so that they can, explore it further. Now the second activity, I'm going to do it with my student. Can I have you here, Shaya? Yes. Alright, this is my student, Shaya. Say hi. Okay, alright. So I have this poem over here that I'd like Shaya to read. This is a poem which is not in his curriculum, not in their course books at all. This is the first time he's actually going to read this poem. So I just want him to read it aloud to everybody here, okay? Let's project it there.
Under the level winter sky, I saw 1,000 Christs go by. They sang an idle song and free as they went up to Calvary. Careless of eye and coarse of lip, they marched in holiest fellowship. That heaven might heal the world they gave, their earth-born dreams to deck the grave. With souls unpurged and steadfast breath, they supped the sacrament of death. And for each one, far off apart, 7 swords have rent a woman's heart.
Well read. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, Shaya, tell me, while you were reading the poem, did you understand something? Did you understand a couple of words? I know you need to read it again to analyze it. But just by reading it for the first time, what comes to your mind?
certainly a war situation.
It's a war situation. Or what made you think that? It's a war situation.
There's soldiers walking.
Okay.
and,
Soldiers marching.
there's destruction. And this looks like the point of view of the people looking at what they see and what they're
Okay.
witnessing.
So you feel that the poet has written it, somebody who's witnessed destruction and misery around himself or herself has written this poem. Okay, that's very good. So just for your information, I'll tell you that the poem has been written by a female poet. Okay? Now, looking at her name, what do you think? Which part of the world is she from?
She's not a classical poet, I'm sure. More a
Why?
classical-
Why isn't she a classical poet? Maybe she is. Tell me, why isn't she a classical poet?
Because ones we studied about had different names.
Different names, okay. Which part of the world do you think she's from?
I'm thinking she's somewhere from Europe,
Somewhere from Europe.
America or something, because that's what.
Okay. You named 2 continents just now, child. Okay, so I'll just
Global
tell you, she's actually from Canada and she's been active through the 1800s, late 1800s. Now tell me, now that you know that she's from Canada and she was active during the late 18th century, tell me, what do you think, which realistic event happened in history at that time, and what do you think she's trying to depict in this poem?
If I'm not wrong, the World Wars.
The World Wars, exactly. She's trying to portray that picture. Okay, World Wars happened a long time back. But the conflict and the situation that she is portraying over here, do you think it's applicable today?
It is. It's a universal theme because every time there's death or destruction, this is what we see and this is what we witness.
This is what we witness. So this is something that can be applied to all times. Whenever there's war, there's conflict in the world, people do face the same sort of situation and circumstances. Okay, what is the one solution as a student, as a future global citizen and a current global citizen? Can you tell us, what do you think is the solution to these problems and conflicts?
The politicians, of course, need to have a dialogue with other people. They need to come to the same page, have common interests, so that they can easily differentiate between right and wrong.
And then get satisfy each other, come to common grounds and negotiate. Right. Thank you so much. As an extension of the same activity, after going through a lot of questions, critical thinking questions with the students, what I make them do is, I tell them that imagine you are in that war zone. You are going through a conflict. How would you feel in those circumstances? So they write an empathic question on that or a narrative on that, and then they come and share it with the rest of the class. So this is another way of making them realize what other people are going through. Can you name a couple of countries that are going through conflict right now?
Burma, Syria, Yemen.
And what kinds of conflicts do they have?
Some are external, some are internal.
What do you mean by these two?
Internals are civil wars. External can be other countries, international relations, and constructive.
Okay, thank you. Before you go, would you like to share with all the teachers and educators over here, how has learning on developing global citizenship changed your perception about the world?
Sure. There's a great deal of debate and discussion around the question of what is global civilization, citizenship, and who is a global citizen. I feel that the idea of global citizenship comes from that everyone should take responsibility for their actions, whether little or big, but if they can confidently confess their mistakes and little problems are solved, then only then will greater problems be dealt with in an easier manner. Being a student of the English language itself and studying about, in fact, we've learned various different ways of becoming what I've just mentioned, a global citizen. Over the years of studying about different poems, eras, authors, most of them teach us about human emotions, their reactions, how to deal with the world in certain situations. So from that I can extract that a proper global citizen is one who can respect and value diversity. Should have a very good understanding of global issues. Like if you see the world today and the crisis, they are outraged by social injustice, like the refugees and how the women and children are treated. It's not their fault. Global poverty. And last but not least, take responsibility for their actions.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Okay, now we have the art teacher, like I mentioned earlier, Mrs. Titacrif. She's the elementary art teacher, and she's going to demonstrate how she teaches global citizenship through her subject, art.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ishat and I am an art teacher, and I'm pretty sure that I have got the best job in the world. I get to help the children to be creative in their own ideas and imaginations. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how I teach global citizenship through all my classes, through art, and how my children do the artwork during their art lessons. I'm going to give them the task cards today, and I'm going to show you 2 examples over here. These are the totem poles which they have done in their art rooms. Aboriginal art from Australia, worldly art from India, African masks from Africa, and this artwork is inspired by Piet Mondrian, a Dutch artist. So I have set the materials in front of them. I want them to be creative and use their own materials and do the craft which they, I want to set them free, and I want them to be creative in the art they want. I've set the materials in front of them, and I want them to be creative, and I'm sure that my children are going to discover, create pretty incredible crafts today. And let me introduce you to my beautiful students. This is Elena. Hi. Elena, where are you from?
Saudi Arabia.
And this is Hala. Hala, where are you from?
I'm from Morocco.
And this is Samantha. Samantha, where are you from?
Philippines.
Philippines. Elena, could you please tell me what your task has to say today?
Take a look at your material and decide which culture you think this art represents. Draw the design and complete the picture in warm and natural colors in the culture you represent.
Very good. Hala, what does your task card say today?
Use the materials provided to trace an outline of the outline and design the detailed pattern representing the culture that you know is represented. Decorate your design with decorative items provided.
Samantha?
Look at the material and decide which country you think it represents. Complete the picture in cool and warm colors. Decorate your art with beads and glitter.
Okay. What art form, Elena, you're going to select today? What art form you have selected?
I have selected Aboriginal art
Aboriginal art. Why did you select this art?
because I like the color combination and it's very easy to make.
And what colors you are going to use today?
Yellow, brown, white, and red and black.
And what do you think what these colors represent in Aborigines?
Yellow is sun, brown is soil, white is clouds, and red is desert sand.
Okay. So what art have you seen in Saudi Arabia?
Islamic calligraphies and Islamic patterns.
So what are the Islamic patterns? Can you tell us about them?
Shapes and lines are usually stars.
Okay. So have you seen any similarities between Aborigines and art and Saudi Arabian art?
No, there are no similarities because in Aboriginal art there are animal and human features. As in Saudi Arabia, there are no animal and human features.
Okay. How can we use this art in our real life?
And henna designs and cards.
Very good. Hala, what art you have selected today?
Henna art.
Why did you select this art? Why did you like it?
Because I love to draw flowers and leaves.
Which countries use this art? Which countries are famous?
Iran, Afghanistan, Middle East, UAE, and India and Pakistan. Miss Ishrat, I also see henna designs in Saudi Arabia.
But Miss Ishrat, we don't usually do henna designs in the Philippines or even decorate our heads.
You should use henna art. It will make your hands nice and beautiful.
Yes, Samantha, it will make your hands beautiful. Hala, where we can use this henna design in our real life? Where we can use them?
We can use them in our hands, our feet. We can use them to dye our hair, and sometimes we use it for our nails. Miss Ishrat, you can also use Aboriginal art in our museum.
No wonder. Samantha, what art you have selected today?
Matryoshka dolls.
Matryoshka. This dolls represent which country?
Russia.
Russia. Okay, what colors have you selected in it?
Blue, green, pink, and orange.
Why did you select this art? in the Philippines, on the roads, on the buildings, anywhere?
Yes, we have Jeepney. It has lots of bright colors and lots of beautiful patterns.
What is Jeepney?
It's a public transport.
It's also Pakistan is famous for truck. They use all neon colors on their trucks to paint. They also all kinds of animals.
What is truck art called?
It's called jingle art.
I want to ask you one question. All three of you are from entirely different countries, and you have chosen art which is extremely from different countries. Why?
Because we can share the world, share the colors, share the joy and happiness.
Anyone else?
Because we are not citizens for one country. We are citizens for the whole world.
This is how we demonstrate in our art class. This is how we do the art. This is how our art lessons go.
Can I have a look at the materials they were using?
Yes, please. We use recycled materials. We use the decorative. All are the decorative items used in the marker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be talking about music and its culture. How we can connect music in global citizenship through different musical instruments from different cultures to make an explosion of sound and music. So, what do you think your life will be without music? I'm sure everybody loves music, yes? Yeah. My life would be nothing without music, so it's an interesting one. Music is in our daily lives. It's an essential element of our human nature. Musical culture, every country has different musical instruments from different countries and different music styles and forms. So today I would like to show you a presentation from my students in class after they've learnt about musical instruments and their cultures, how they have fused together different instruments to showcase different instrument styles, music styles. I would like to call upon my student Ismail Ramirez to ask a few questions, what he understood from global citizenship.
Miss, I understand from this video, my fellow classmates have combined a variety of different musical instruments from different countries, and they all represent their countries, and when brought together, they combine and make a fusion of music that's very beautiful, and it shows a little bit of each country in it.
So, do you know what these instruments are and where they are made?
Yes, the first one I saw was the classical guitar, which was originated from Spain, and it is made out of wood and nylon strings. The second one I noticed was the electronic keyboard, which can project different sounds from piano to violin, many others. And the third one I noticed was a Middle Eastern drum. It's called durbuke. It's also known as the goblet drum. It's made out of goat skin and wood.
Okay. So what about you? Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. What is the music like in Colombia and what is your traditional instrument?
Well, the music in Colombia is separated into two groups. We have cumbia and we have mariachi. Cumbia is a mixture of Native American, Spanish, and African music. It's a dance-oriented genre that involves dancing and music. Mariachi is a form of music that is a band, usually 3 to 5 people, and they all play different instruments, and they wear a sombrero, which is the national hat of Colombia. and the national musical instrument of Colombia is the accordion, which is a brass instrument that involves keypads and the compression of sound.
Thank you. How do you think that music can help global citizenship?
I think that music can bring many countries together with their cultural instruments, and they can all play music together in harmony, and it can bring peace and happiness between different countries.
Thank you, Ismail. So I want to quote at the end that we all love music and we have different ways and cultures, and when we teach students about different instruments from different countries, they learn to respect the cultures and learn new things. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our presentation. Please, we welcome a lot of comments and suggestions from your side. These were just a few examples that we wanted to share with you, just to show you that how we teach and inculcate global citizenship in our students. Your comments and suggestions, please, now. It's time for that. What would you like to say? How do you do that in your school?
Inculcate global citizenship.
Yes.
Okay, we have the subject global perspectives,
Okay.
where students have to research on problems that happen all over the world,
Right.
like poverty and inequality. So we have them doing research through the
Around
subject,
that.
yeah,
Okay,
and
through the
that gives them a sense of being a global citizen and empathizing, finding solutions,
Right.
and looking at problems from different perspectives.
Yes, ma'am. What would you like to say?
Actually, I'm a computer science teacher, so already everything is
No, but global
digitalized.
citizenship is something which
Yeah,
can be
because-
taught in all
yeah,
subject areas.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. That
Yeah.
everything is digitalized. So what I prefer is mostly to access internet and get the knowledge about everything.
So you help them with the research,
Yeah.
finding out about the world. Good. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, we have global issues like the lady already mentioned in our school.
What school are you from?
Dubai National School in
Okay.
Russia.
Okay.
But I was going to ask about the examples that you have shown us about your excellent students over here in art and in music. Do you do that every session or every class? Or is it like once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Because if you're teaching an instrument, like for some students, like the Darbuka, the Arabic one, it could take a longer time for students who are not aware of it. You can introduce it, but is it like every now and then, or every class you're showing them a new instrument?
No, every now and then.
Every now and then,
Yes.
yeah. This
They
is
will
the
learn
same way we do,
Yes.
but not in music. We don't teach music in our school.
Okay.
Sometimes we're reading a poem, sometimes even in math, like we have something about
Problem solving.
Problem solving, yeah.
Right.
We start asking questions about global things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what most of us do over here.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to say something? Any comment, suggestion?
No, I was wondering, like, if the music, like, that particular teacher has to be expert to that in all the instruments. How is it possible? Like,
Well, you'll have to ask our music teacher how is it possible.
Their own instruments and explain to the class.
Actually, we have a wonderful music studio at our school, and we have all this variety of instruments over there, and we do expose students to these different instruments from different parts of the world. And of course, according to the grade level, as per the curriculum and everything, things have been divided. Now, students of grade 11, they must have come across and learnt about various instruments. And the demonstration that we just gave, that was actually a mix of grade 10 and 11 students. So some of them have learned about the darbuke, some have learned about the keyboard, so we just brought it together for them to understand that music again has a universal language. It does not have a barrier.
that's also
The
good,
culture and the country.
but
Right.
in our school there are certain parents, those who don't allow the students
Yeah, I know.
to take up music.
Yes.
Then
Yeah,
it
my
becomes the
school is-
barrier. It becomes the
We
barrier.
understand, I know. But we can always do it through other subjects, right? And through other things.
Of course, we have an ethnic day where we have children of different cultures.
Yes.
We do that.
Right. There are forms, feedback forms. I would really appreciate if you could please fill those. And have a good day. Wonderful meeting all of you. Thank you.